Hello, and welcome to Grossly Competent, the learning, development, and adulting podcast that doesn't claim to be pretty, no, but we will happily pretend to be slightly competent. I'm your host, Steve Council, and I'm joined by my co-host, a man whose face can be described in Braille as dipping your fingers in acid, Mr. Patrick Ayleshire.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Steve, you're the human embodiment of clicking the wrong link.
That's like, have you ever seen Ralph Wrecks the Internet or whatever it is, like the second Wreck-It Ralph?
I've heard things.
There is they break into the internet, and Ralph and his friend, God, I can't remember her name, save my soul. That's irrelevant. They get bombarded by these quote unquote pop-up ads of people just like, hey, you want to check out this? Hey, you want to check out this? Like, ooh, singles in your area. And it just cracks me up because, of course, it's a kid's movie and it's very G-rated, but obviously as the adults, we're like, oh my God, that's so awesome.
What was that like? I know, like viruses and Trojan horses, all that thing have come and gone over the time, but like that's like the adware, right? Where you would just have.
Yes.
You're like, oh no!
God.
Thank you, LimeWire.
Oh yeah. Anybody out there listening that grew up in the days of LimeWire and there was Kazaa. Yeah, Kazaa. Where you could find songs based not on the actual title of the song, but what people thought they were named, or maybe who they thought sang it.
Terrible. The best one was, and I'm drawing a blank on the artist and so Gin and Juice, right?
Yeah,
the bluegrass version.
Oh,
right, but there was a bluegrass version. Rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. Yeah, it was labeled as like Grateful Dead. That was not the freaking Grateful Dead. Oh my God!
Yes. Mm-hmm. Although that is a killer cover of that song.
It is great.
It's a great version.
Drawing a blank on the artist, but we'll put that in the show notes.
Somebody out in Listenerland is yelling at the radio right now, or the speakers like, "Oh, it's this dummy." It's not the first time today I've been called dummy either. I'll have you know.
That's what happened when you don't have a scripted show. We fly off the cuff.
Yeah, Patrick is right. So listeners out there, we have an awesome show, and we're going to get into what Patrick was saying regarding the scripted nature of this specific episode. But I want all of you to know that we have a sponsor this week. And I would love it if, Patrick, you would introduce our sponsor for this audible assault.
I'm happy to.
Nice.
Pure Michigan. Oh, wait. No. That was last episode. I'm sorry.
We're giving them free publicity.
Let me try that again. Pure Wisconsin. Today's show is supported by Sad Man's Granola, the breakfast cereal that tastes exactly like giving up. Made with whole oats, dried fruit, and a whisper of existential dread. Sad Man's. Fuel your morning the same way you fuel your emotional responses. Inconsistently.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Big Sad Man's Granola. You really are the most important meal of the day, aren't you now? That's great. Just starting things off right up and perfect. Folks, before we get into banter, I gotta harken back to what Patrick said about this being an unscripted show. And that is normally when we develop these episodes, we'll kind of take turns in our Google Doc, like writing things, kind of bantering back and forth. No, it's not verbatim, but it's kind of like cliff notes, if you will, of what we want to say or like a specific point we want to make. And honest to goodness, a lot of times it's like we go rogue.
There will be times where Steve is talking and all of a sudden there's a strike through what I was going to say next because I'm like, nope. Or we've been talking about couches for 45 minutes. It's time to maybe continue on with this conversation.
Well, that was obviously scripted. So interestingly enough, I can't remember who I had said. Someone said something to me about like who was typing away. Like they could hear in the background that one of us was clanking away.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, but it was like super minuscule. And I was like, honestly, that was one of us probably deleting what we were going to say.
I didn't even pick that up on the recording. That's awesome.
Yeah, this was a couple, maybe this might have even been like a month ago or something.
That's
somebody in passing like sent me a text like, "Hey, loved it. Who was typing in the process or something?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" So then I went back and listened. And oh, sure enough, yeah, I remember we were deleting something. Whatever.
I'm gonna start making noise when I type. Beep bop beep boop boop.
Beep boop boop. So the reason why I bring all this up, fine listeners out there, is because today we did not do that. I had the idea for the topic I wanted to cover, and I reached out to Patrick, said, "Hey, do you know about this?" He said no, and I went, "Okay, don't look at anything that I'm going to do. Like, I want you to go in blind." So I'm really excited for what we're going to cover today. But I'm
a little nervous because I don't know where this is going to go. All I did essentially in our Google Doc this week was to make a note about the sponsor. Yeah. And then I said, "Steve, you're on your own, dude." And that's kind of so I'm interested and very intrigued about what we're going to be chatting about today.
I love it so much. Well, before we get into our topic, it's usually customary that we just kind of do a little chat to kind of warm ourselves up. What's been going on? What's on your mind? Or as one of my coworkers would say, what's Crack-a-lackin?
Ooh,
I like that one a lot. I haven't heard that one in a long time. When I heard her say it, I was like, oh God, that's such a good one.
Is he white?
She is.
Okay, that's a white person's phrase. Amazing, love it.
It very much is. Yes. Yeah. So what's going on, man?
Well, I just want to talk about, we're kind of heading towards the end of the year here. There's 3 weeks left, I guess, in 2025, and I think sometimes it's just like a good idea to kind of take a temperature check of like where we're at. I think with today, like there's just so much going on with social media and with the news and our own lives that sometimes life gets a little overwhelming. But I understand that completely, and I'm empathetic that way. But there's just some times where it's like, let's take a deep breath. And what I'm getting to is that I was getting some emails today, and this is not work related. This was personal email. But I have, as I mentioned, I've started a small business, and there was supposed to be a holiday market this weekend.
Oh, okay.
At a location in Milwaukee. And due to the extremely cold temperatures that they're expecting, there was some back and forth the last couple of days about possibly maybe rescheduling. And so when they initially announced this event back in like September, so all the vendors had to apply, they said, okay, well, if something happens, we're going to push it out to the spring. Okay, great.
Okay,
so you have 50 vendors applying for this, getting accepted, yada yada. So what happened was they were mentioning like a couple of days ago that we're going to look at the weather, right? So then yesterday comes, and now the weather is like, oh, it's coming. It's going to be really cold. So they sent out a Google Doc saying, hey, can you fill this out? Let us know if you're available the following week, so we can push it back just a week and still have it be a holiday market.
Sure.
So instead of the 14th, be the 21st. So, and those of you that are listening to this is obviously already happened. Well, emails all day from all these other vendors, just going on, and they were given the third degree to this person that organized all this, and all given their 2 cents. And I get, some of it was productive conversation and some concerns and all that, but it was just a whole plea and a cry for give us our refund. And you didn't say the 21st, and you said the spring, and Now we're not going to have people, and they're trying to navigate all this, and I get it's can be frustrating, but
yeah,
like pump the brakes here, people. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
First of all, after a few people replied, let the vendor or the organizer respond. You know, like give them a moment. Maybe they're not sitting at their computer waiting, you know, like we do with social media. I can't wait to fry this person that I'll never meet in my life.
I bet they're AI.
Yeah. Robot, stupid robot. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of just like, you know, it's the holiday season. We're supposed to be all cheery like we've talked about. And I don't know, just like deep breaths, people. Deep breaths.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I agree with you. This is definitely a time of year that brings a lot of joy out in people, but it is also a very stressful time of year too, depending, of course. If you, a lot of times with work, you're trying to close out certain projects to start fresh for the new year. From a personal standpoint, it doesn't matter what faith you are, but typically you have your Christmas, you have your Hanukkahs, you have these different gift-giving events that are taking place. So you have all of these, you have different parties, and what are we going to do for New Year's? And so I get it. I do understand, but man, you are dead on right in that these folks, the individuals that put on this program or festival, whatever we want to call it, it's not like they chose. They chose that, like, maybe we should plan this so we have sub-zero temperatures. Some of you folks out there listening that are not from the area that Patrick and I are, we're in Southeast Wisconsin. You might be thinking to yourself, well, dude, you live in Wisconsin. It's always cold there, which you wouldn't be entirely off. However, the last, I don't know, Patrick, and you feel free to correct me, I would give it easily the last 5, maybe even 10 years that we won't get snow in December.
Correct.
Like, it will be like our first real snowfall will happen, I don't know, January or something like mid-January. And then it's just like this Arctic blast. Yep. But there have been so many times that Christmas has come and it is yellow grass. You're like, well, that's lame. I mean, it's cold. It's like 10 degrees, but you're just staring at yellow, like, ugh, whatever. So to all of you vendors out there that didn't get your way, sorry, but dude, really, like, come on. That's interestingly enough, what you just brought up ties into the topic that we're going to cover. Like, really? This is, as crazy as this is. Yeah, this is kind of wild. Okay. I'm just going to make sure I reiterate this one more time, and that is Patrick has no idea what I'm about to unleash. Like, so this is actually the first time that he has not come with like some ideas of how he wants to rebuttal or like say
we're apologizing ahead of time for my my mumbles or just blank.
Well, and sincerely, what I really wanted was this like fully authentic response of like, oh, I never thought about that, or oh, and then you can like poke holes or whatever. So I'm really interested to hear what your thoughts are.
I'm gonna tear this apart so hard.
Dude, you might. Okay. So let me give some background here. I was having a conversation with a coworker of mine. She's the same one that said the Crack-a-lackin, by the way. We were working on building this training program for hospitality, like for dining services where I am. And in the process of us kind of walking through, like, what are the different things that we want to make sure we touch on from like a cultural standpoint, like as an organization and whatnot, she presented to me something that is called the 2-token theory. Now, you said you've never heard of this, right?
I've never heard of that. God, I was hoping you were going to talk about Tolkien and like Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's next week. But no,
I have not heard of the
That's what we should do for our Christmas episode is just talk about Lord of the Rings. Like that, yeah, why not? And then we'll lose all of our listeners. Anyway, we'll go from 3 to none. Anyway. So some of you out there in listener land that have ever worked in like hospitality or retail, you may have heard of this, and just please humor me. And if for those of you that have not, I hope you learned something today. The best way for me to describe this is for you to envision or imagine that you have 2 tokens in front of you. For whatever reason, I picture like different colored poker chips.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you think of. One of those token reads, quote, "It's not a big deal."
Okay.
The other token reads as, "This is the end of the world."
Okay.
So that's it. You have
Polar opposite.
not a big deal. This is the end of the world. So you keep this in mind. Every time 2 different parties or groups or individuals have some sort of a problem or a conflict, each party can only take one of those tokens. So depending upon which one is chosen from somebody else, you're left with the only one that's there. You're probably thinking like, not quite registering, and that's okay. I think I'll be able to paint a little bit better of a picture by using a scenario that I think that everybody can relate to in some way. It doesn't matter if you've ever worked hospitality or you've ever worked in a restaurant or anything like that. Just pretend you go to a restaurant that you've been to before and you order your usual thing. Maybe it's a burger and fries.
Yep.
You receive your food. There's something wrong with it. So you flag down your server and you say, "Hey, so there's something wrong with this. It's cold, it's overdone, whatever the reason is. There's something wrong with what you were given." You have now initiated the 2 token theory. The server is the first one to pick the token that they plan on implementing. So in this case, let's say they take the "it's no big deal." And they respond to you and saying, "Oh, sorry, that's the kitchen's fault." Or, "They've been really busy. Sorry." Or, "That happens. I'll just let them know." And anybody out there listening knows that this has happened at one point in time. You're like, okay. Since they took the "it's no big deal" token, you are left with the "it's the end of the world" token. So you have to take that. And based on the response of the server, you feel slighted, you feel cheated, you feel like you've been poorly treated, and like you deserve something. You paid good money, and this is how they respond. Like, how dare they? This is a big deal to me. Like, this is, what the hell? I am your guest, and you sucked. Like, this is awful. I'm out of here. So you kind of see where I'm going with this.
Yes, very clear. Yeah.
And now, just to kind of make sure we come full circle, take the exact same scenario and you flip it onto itself. You go to a restaurant, you order the thing, you tell the server something's wrong. Great, we're all caught up. The server, now in this second instance, chooses the "it's the end of the world" token. And they respond in kind like, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I tell you what, let me take the food back, the burger back, whatever it is. I'll see if we can't fix this. Would you like a cup of soup in the meantime, just to tide you over until we get this taken care of?" Now you, as the opposite party, now only have 1 token to take. And that's the "it's not a big deal." So you scoop your little "it's not a big deal" and you think, "Whoa, that's really nice of you. It's okay. I really appreciate it. It's not that big of a deal. But thank you. How kind of you." Your whole perception of the situation is completely different because one acted one way and you responded the other. The 2 token theory. And this was brought up with hospitality in mind, but when it was brought up to me, my mind just kind of exploded, sort of like, oh my God, there's so many applications for this. So I want to take a pause because that was a ton of talking, but I'm curious what your preliminary thoughts are.
That's really interesting. I think it's a great perspective to have and something to consider, since based on it's almost looking at like intent versus impact, right? So
yeah, great point. Mm-hmm.
You've got these situations, and how it's almost how you respond will allow how the other person's going to respond, and vice versa. Okay, yes. So depending, whoever's taking those tokens, whoever steps up, and maybe in that second scenario, there was a lot more empathy involved versus a lack of empathy. Mm-hmm. It was more of a, hey, it started with, hey, bummer. And then exactly. the reaction is going to be that same way, just in the reverse of like, well, hey, bummer, I am not paying for this. Where
you're absolutely right.
The other way is, hey, let's maybe have a little bit more, emotional intelligence behind this, or more empathy, and thinking like, wow, we messed up. We really apologize. Let's make it right.
Yes.
And whether or not you are like, appreciate that, you don't have to, but I appreciate it. It's that consideration that goes a long way, and great life lesson. Great life practice to have as to begin with. So I think tying it in, I'm intrigued now how this can get tied into work situations too.
Right. Okay. So I'm so glad you said that, because there's two things I want to touch on. You mentioned about how like this is such a practical thing. Like, I swear to everything that is holy, sacred, and pure. Like, this is honest to God. This isn't like and then everyone clapped kind of a like thing. I promise you. Sorry, I say that as you're taking a drink. But the day I heard this, like this is like 2-ish days ago, that I had this conversation, and I was just like, I love it when I learn something like that. Like, oh, what a cool idea. Like, I love that. So I went home, and this is how big of a dork I am. I told my wife and kids, mind you, my kids, 9 and 6, right? Like, I'm not talking to like teenagers or young adults. Like, they're 9 years old and 6 years old, whatever. And so I explained it in a way kind of like what I did earlier, like the burger thing, right? And I kid you not, my son kind of stopped and like tilted his head. It's like, that makes sense. Like earlier when mom asked me to clean up my socks in my room and I got really mad, the only option she had was to think it was not a big deal because I thought it was the end of the world.
Oh, I love that.
Very I was like,
intuitive or
very well, you know what? He's much smarter than I was at his age. I'm just going to level out right there. So I can take 0 credit on that. But it was neat to kind of see him be like instantly apply. And I thought, well, hell, if a 9-year-old can, boom, like the applications are wild. And I couldn't help but notice a phrase you used when you were thinking, you said emotional intelligence, right? Like you embolden that. Hell yeah, man. Like, I feel like from an L&D standpoint, or from like just career education, this can be applied to leadership development, onboarding, having crucial conversations. Like, how do you have those awkward ass conversations where you want to convey something rather delicately? Well, if you go about it as no big deal, the other person only has one option.
Yeah.
So you have to take on that burden of like, no, this is a big deal, and alleviate that other party as best as you can. So I love that you said that. I absolutely agree with you.
That's quite incredible. I think to your point of applying it to all those scenarios in the workplace, I mean, that's something I definitely want to look more into and be able to put that into play, because it really is. It's like take a pause, take a breath here.
Yeah.
How can I respond, with a clear conscience versus just being so reactive? Because most of the time, if you either don't have emotional intelligence or you're going off of just that initial response, it's usually not going to be maybe the right decision. And what I want to alleviate that with allude to is, I was talking about this in customer service training the other day. We talk about email etiquette.
Yes.
And
yes.
Why do we have to teach email etiquette? Because not everyone knows how to type an email. Okay. It's just whether they're younger or they just have they learned the wrong way or they forgot, but it's just that first email you send, right, in the conversation, it's greeting them, right? However you want to greet them. And then your salutation, same thing. But we talk about in that segment of email etiquette is when, especially around customer service, when you're dealing a lot with internal or external customers, is when you're feeling like someone is a little heated in the email and you're taking offense a little bit, or you're like, wow, I want to respond. And so it's go for a walk.
Yes.
Check back in an hour. Check back. If you have a 24-hour policy in response in your department or whatever, take that time that you need. I just did the same thing today. I sent an email out. I gave it a few hours because I wanted to make sure I wanted to make sure it was professional and that I sounded respectful, but also there were some things I wanted to say, and I gave it a few hours.
It probably wasn't a good idea to start it off with, "Hey, dickhead." Like, I said, "What's up, Uggo?" And it wasn't to you. It was to a coworker. So I had to catch myself and thought, wait, nope, I can't do that here. Oh, that's
can't
fair.
do that here. So in that example of give it some time. And I think that going back to your tokens there, that fits right in where I can respond this way or I can respond that way. But the way I respond is gonna be reflective of how the other person responds.
Yeah. Interestingly, when I really let this kind of just mull through my head and just, play ping pong in the empty space between my ears, I kept on coming up with the zero sum. Like, have you ever heard of that phrasing? Like a zero sum game?
Correct.
And for those of you out in listener land that may not be aware of that phrasing, that is when something has like a 0 to 100% of something, and the more of something that you have, the less somebody else can have. So if Patrick and I have $100 split between us and he has 90 of it, I can only have 10. So just to kind of give a frame of reference.
Could I borrow $10?
You have 90. No.
I know, but I want to buy a bicycle with training wheels.
Well, that's fine. I thought you were going to try to get like a bag or a mask or something.
A new mask? Yeah.
So I kept on thinking about that. Like when we have these interactions with people, whether it's in your personal life, in your professional life, you're having a difficult conversation, or you're just trying to resolve some form of a problem. It doesn't have to be a problem to you. It can be a problem to them. If you kind of think of that zero sum aspect of this, where it's like, well, the only thing that's wrong about the zero sum is that means that there can be a 50-50, which I strongly disagree with. There is an opportunity for the scale, always have to be tilted.
That's a 3 on the survey.
Yes. And it might be minute. It might be like a 51-49, but it's not exact. But I do think that when you're having these kinds of conversations, it's important to kind of think of how much of the burden am I placing on them versus how much am I taking on in a respectful manner. Like if I am working with somebody that reports to me and they have a real issue with something, if I just deflect it like, dude, you're overreacting. Or as I know that all women love more than anything, calm down. They love that. So my wife tells me all the time, she's like, I swear to God, if you say that one more time. And I'm like, I know, because like you love it.
I know you're fine. I know.
She loves it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a complete imbecile. I do not say that to her. I grew up with 2 older sisters. They trained me to not say stuff like that.
I just say chill out.
Get over it. Right? Like, so in those kinds of phrases, right? You're saying it's not a big deal because it's not a big deal to you, but you're not taking into consideration
correct
how it impacts them. So in my server guest scenario, the server, do they honestly really care? I mean, they're not eating the damn sandwich. So, right? Like, they can be selfish about it, but they understand, you know what? If I was in his spot or her spot, I would care. Maybe I can do something about that. And they take on some of that burden.
Right.
And I really do. I have started to see it even over the last couple of days. I've started to see this play out in real time based on some of the conversations I've had. And it is really pretty magical in a really weird way that you can start to kind of see these wheels spin just in normal dynamics. So it's kind of a neat thing.
It is. It's cool because it happens without really anyone knowing, or you may not even thinking about it. Whereas like we joked about Addie a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
We got to get to our analyze and our design or develop, right? You know what step you're on. Whereas the tokens, no, you just, you might be subconsciously choosing something or more consciously doing it, but it happens so quick. The other person probably is not even aware. Like, Steve, you're using that 2 token on me, you son of a bitch. Yeah. You know? And
yes, absolutely. You are totally right.
So I like this. I'm a big fan. That's cool.
Is it perfect? No. I mean, I think that's why I like the fact that it's called the theory, right? And when things are theories, they're not 100, they're not law. It's not the law of gravity. It's the theory, the 2 token theory. So I think ultimately what it's trying to convey is this sense of try to empathize with the person that you're working. And when I was working with the person that the coworker of mine, excuse me. Wow, words are hard. The first thing that came to my mind to really help kind of demonstrate this was to have like role playing. Like in a class, you could sit 2 people down, give them a scenario. And this is kind of where I had the poker chip idea of like place 2 poker chips in front of them. And then they have to like grab one and act that spot.
Oh, yeah.
Like kind of like, okay, so this person borrowed something of yours and they didn't give it back and you need it now. Like whatever. And they have to grab their chip and they have to act it out. Like, but it's a nice, fun, interactive way to get people to start kind of seeing these things play out in real time.
Oh, for sure. I think that it's cool too, because I think that if you have a classroom of participants that start to register, that's gonna be something that they can use outside of that. And then also not just at work, outside of work, they tell someone else about it. And it's that spiral, the domino effect of, and hey, maybe it turns out where people just have more empathy for everyone overall versus
that would be the worst.
It would be terrible. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Sounds
I'm interrupting
like
you at the worst times.
No, that sounds pretty bad actually. Now that I'm thinking about it out loud, but having empathy goes a long way. It's like the kindness, little kindness thing you can do. I had a great story yesterday actually in a training. You'll like this. This is kind of in the same regards. Cool story that someone shared. So it was a customer service conversation, and one of the gentlemen in the class was talking about how he said, "I've been doing this for years, for over a decade. When I see someone in the hallway and I'm passing, I say hello." You know, and he goes, and I had a new employee walking with me or whatever, and he at some point, you know, he was like, "Oh, I noticed you say hi to everyone. Like, why do you do that? You know, like it's simple, hey, or how's it going, whatever." And people that aren't maybe seeming very friendly, or they're distracted or whatever. And why do you do that? And he goes, "Like, why wouldn't I do that? What is it hurting me?" the common thing we do, it's pleasantries of like, hey, how's it going? Right? How are you? Like, if you don't know the person, it's just something nice that you do. You just checking how they're doing. And granted, do we want people necessarily going on? Oh, well, actually, this, it's more of a, and I have a story about that, which I'll tell in a second. But
same.
The idea is that it's just something nice to do. And does it hurt anyone by saying hello? Right?
Yes.
You're acknowledging their existence essentially.
Yeah.
So
totally agree.
What happened was this guy that was doing this for so long, he just said, this is what I do. And he noticed about a year later, the same employee that was asking him was saying hi to everyone.
That's
awesome. And it was like, and I'll let you get to your story in a sec, but I have to share this because this was, I brought this up. It was actually quite funny. So I don't know exactly where I was or when this was. It was over 15 years ago. I remember that. I had to be in some sort of headspace, but it was a rough day. And I don't know if I was at the gas station or at like Target or something, but I was at the register checking out. Yes, definitely a strip bar. And the woman came up to me. I remember it was a gentleman at the work in the register said, hey, how's it going? And I was having a rough day. And I said, do you really want to know? And he said, nope, just a courtesy. And I had a smirk on my face. I remember I laughed a little bit and I just said, thank you. That's what I needed in that time, right?
Yeah.
Would I have probably vented a little bit? I'm sure. But the guy was honest. No, I don't really care to hear about your issues. His response, literally, that was over 15 years ago. I've never forgotten that.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's just one of those. It's like, the grocery store that goes, did you find everything okay? Well, I'm not going to tell you if I didn't. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, you're behind the register. Well, let me go show you where that is. No, it's a courtesy. Okay. But what did you have?
Oh, no, mine's super short, but kind of interesting. So this previous weekend, I went to the Wisconsin Dells with my family, my in-laws, my brother-in-law, his family. So we were all jammed in this like multi-tiered condo-ish kind of thing, whatever. It was fun. We had a grand old time. We were in the water park and it's getting to that lunchtime. So I took my son to, it's like not a cafeteria, like a concession stand.
Sure.
Whatever. It's just like a quick bite to eat. Boom, bing, bam, done. We go in and the woman that was the cashier, it's gonna be tough for me to explain, but she had her head in her hands, and I'm showing Patrick because I don't know how else to do it.
Yeah,
she just was like this, like
looked pretty distraught.
Yes, like I received the worst news in the world.
Sure.
Or I was like, and she was young. I genuinely, if I had to guess, she is between like 18 to 20. Like she was young, and I'm very much of that pleasantry kind of person. Like, hey, how you doing? Something like that.
Yeah.
I've always been taught that it doesn't cost you anything to extend that kindness. And I want my kids to know that too. Like, it's okay to say hi to somebody. Like, it's okay. Just don't go in their van for baseball cards. It's cool. Like, we're all good.
No baseball cards, but you can get candy.
And Pokemon. But anyway, so gotta catch them all. Anyway, so she had her head in her hands, like, God, Jesus Christ. Sometimes I just say things and I'm an idiot.
All right.
I am dumb.
Love it.
So anyway, so this woman has her head in her hands and I am like, oh, and I genuinely was asking. It's like, oh, are you okay? Because I thought maybe she had like a really bad headache or something like that. And she just slowly lifted her head up. She went, no, I don't have a headache. It's just my life. And I went, oh, well, we would like to purchase these 3 items, please.
Oh my God.
I had no idea. Like, I'm not gonna like get through this existential crisis with her.
Like,
I felt bad, but I was like,
give her a little punch on the shoulder. Hang in there, champ.
that's what she. I won't lie. It caught me off guard like so brutally. And I just walked out going, wow, I did not handle that the way I should have. Holy shit, am I dumb?
Oh God, that is amazing. It's in the moment though. Yeah, that's that. I'm just thinking of stuff I would want to say now. That thinking about it,
it's that whole shower thought thing. Like, oh yeah, I'd have totally said this.
Yeah,
I did that in the No, I didn't know. I was like,
you could have said or just said some random stuff like, well, when in Rome,
they can't all be zingers.
This too.
What the hell?
This too shall pass. Give her some crappy, Well,
I like your hang in there. Yeah, I don't know. She got.
I thought
me.
she was going to tell you that she was hungover or something, and then.
Oh, honestly, if she'd have said that, I'd been like, been there. Like, well, we've all been there before. Like, I get it. But no, I genuinely thought, and I did say, like, are you okay? Do you have a headache or something? Because honest to goodness, and I think any women out there that are listening, this is not meant to be a stereotype, but you carry pharmacies in your purse. And my wife is the exact same way. She has she has ibuprofen, she has aspirin, like she has all this stuff. So I genuinely thought like, oh, if she has a headache or something like that. Although now I'm thinking about that. No, this woman, how crazy would you have to be like, yes, I have a headache. And I'll be like, I'm going to get aspirin for my wife. And then I come with like 2 little pills. I go, here, take this. Patrick, this is how dumb I am.
You have drugged the woman at the Wisconsin Dells resort.
I'd have drugged her with ibuprofen or Tylenol, like whichever one. I just realized right now how creepy that sounds. Oh, well, my goodness, not that you're listening, young woman in the Wisconsin Dells, but I promise you my intent was pure. I was with my 9-year-old son. Like, I don't know. Jesus.
That's what editing is for.
No. This needs to stay in. People need to know how dumb I am. Like, they need to know. They need to see me out in public and go, wow, how do you walk and talk and breathe? And it's like, honestly, it's a miracle of God.
Maybe what she didn't want to admit was that she too has a mask, and maybe she forgot to wear it to work. But wait, no, we're the only two in the we're the only two in the ugly club. Duh.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I have hammered on the 2 token theory. Is there anything that you would like to add before we proceed?
No, I want to thank you for bringing this to my attention. I honestly was unaware of it. I know I kept joking the last couple of days when you said, 2 tokens, and I was thinking of like token weed or smoking weed or Tolkien or Lord of the Rings or Hobbit, and I was kind of hoping it was going to be one of those 2, but actually this fits in more to, I was learning development, right? I was thinking, is he going to do adulting only today? Oh no, it's learning and development, which is great.
Listeners, he's not wrong. He would send me texts like, I can't wait for, and then it was just like a series of emojis. I almost want to look it up, but one of them was like of a joint, and God, what else was there? I was like,
there was the joint, the weed, smoking or whatever. So it was, yeah. So I will say I'm disappointed, but
say you are just miffed right now.
You know who I am not disappointed with?
I have an idea.
Got it. Woo!
All right. Spinnerooski it is indeed. While Patrick readies that wheel, I'm going to explain to all of you that are either just joining us or if you need a refresher on what the Spinnerooski is all about. So each episode, we take a moment to spin the Spinnerooski. It's a wheel with a host of names that could potentially be associated with the unknown woman that gave Patrick and I.
That we're keeping in. We're keeping in.
Don't edit that. Don't edit that. Patrick and I, the greatest gift of all, and that is the Ugly Club. And our hope is that the name that it lands on will be hers, so we can thank her personally and by name. All right, Patrick. Oh my God, I'm so stupid.
Is that because I called you Stephanie on the Google Doc?
No, it's just because apparently my brain is mush today.
Okay.
I don't know what to say. All right, dude, let's spin this wheel.
Here we go. Boom. We're spinning. Going around. Spinnerooski has landed on Charlotte.
Wow, Charlotte. Well, Charlotte, or do you prefer we call you Char? No, just Charlotte. Okay. Charlotte, thank you so very much. We appreciate you. We are so thankful that you pushed us aside so many years ago and have gifted us with the beauty of the Ugly Club. You have lived rent-free in our heads for the last 20-some years, and we just want to take this moment and say, you're kind of a big deal, and we appreciate you.
Huge deal. Urge.
All right, man. What do you say? Should we wrap this bad boy up?
Yes. That about does it for this episode. Thank you, everyone out in Listenerland, for joining us on Grossly Competent. If you like what you're hearing and want to support the show, here are the best ways possible. Steve?
You can subscribe, follow, and give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can visit us on Buzzsprout at grosslycompetent.buzzsprout.com. Here you can become an active supporter and help us with the show. Every cent counts, and we appreciate it. We love it, and we don't spend it on masks. I promise. You can give us a shout out on Instagram at handle at grossly competent. Did I do that right? It's called a handle. Right?
At Grossly Competent, yes.
Did I say at grossly?
You said at handle at. It's okay.
Well, you know what? I'm an idiot. So you can either email us at directly at grosslycompetent@gmail.com. You can use the link at the top of the show notes to send us a message. But we would love it almost more than anything if you would tell your friends, family, and coworkers, or that super awesome L&D dude, or Chica at your company about this podcast.
And we do appreciate all of you. Any form of support you can provide means the world to us. This truly is a labor of love, and we do, in fact, love bringing it to you each and every week, even if one of us doesn't know what the topic's going to be.
Or if one of us has a hard time with speaking.
Names.
Sincerely, speaking on that appreciation, Patrick, this past week, some of you may know this, Spotify does like their Wrapped awards, if you will, for listeners. It kind of exactly
not that Wrapped.
For listeners, it gives you like a year in review of like, this is how much you listened, and this was the top X amount of songs, whatever. But as content creators, we get a different kind of a wrap that talks about like your program or whatever you produce for Spotify. And you guys, seriously, you're awesome. Like we have amazing fans. We are so appreciative. We were given 3 different awards. We ranked in the top 50% of listens and popularity, and we are in the top 75% for shares. And we've only started this just like 2-3 months ago. So seriously, you guys, that's so awesome. My heart just swells with that. Like, it's just honestly incredible. I know we joke around a lot on this show, but that just meant the world to see that. So thank you guys so much.
That was really cool. I'll give props to Steve on that, because I didn't know that was a thing as far as the content goes. And then I tried to search for it on my own, and I still couldn't find it. So good job, Steve. I did see what we posted though on the socials. So I was like, oh, look at that. We did get awards, but I did a quick little dive, and I'm like, I don't know where this guy found it. Amazing. Yeah. So thank you all again for listening, for sharing, for liking, commenting. I will say, one little ask again is to follow us at Grossly Competent on Instagram. If you don't, we'll send our team of robots after you. Beep, bop, bing, bom, bom, bom.
And if one of you listeners out there wants to give me a tutorial on how to properly post to Instagram, that would be great because I am terrible at it. But my God, do I try. Well, I think that's it for this episode, you guys. Uggos, you're awesome. Thanks again. And I guess we'll see you guys next time for our Christmas extravaganza.
Ugly. We have to hit the stop button. Okay, here we go.